Hi guys, welcome back to The Contented Plant. Today we are going to do an update on my low variegation Albo Monstera. So let's get started. So let's talk about the newest leaf. We were hoping that this leaf would come out with more variegation than this leaf. This is the original leaf, and you can see that it does have variegation, but it's very, very low. So my hope was this leaf would come out obviously more variegated, but we're trying to get that variegation to continue on and maybe isolate it further down the road so that we can turn this cheap cutting into a nicer quality, more variegated Albo Monstera, if that's even possible. It's kind of an experiment that we're doing, so let's take a look at the newest leaf. It did get stuck in the sheath, so I think it kind of ripped coming out, and you'll see that it does have this little split here. Honestly, I think it might have been trying to get a little fenestration and it got stuck and ripped a little bit, but that's not a big deal. It's still a very healthy leaf. And I was super excited when I saw it. Let me take it out of the pot so I don't accidentally tip it over here. Okay, so this is the newest leaf. You can see it has this beautiful variegation right here. It has more variegation on the tip right here, a little bit up there. Besides that, it's also huge. This is my old leaf on the old cutting, and this new one that came out is just massive, and it's very healthy besides being a little bit ripped. But like I said, it was kind of stuck in the sheath, and you can see it kind of ripped all the way across in these little dots. But other than that, it seems to be really healthy. I was excited to see this leaf because as this plant kind of came out with a new stem, you can see that it has that really great stripe along the side here, and it looked like it would have a good chance of variegation, and it definitely did. It's more variegated than the original leaf, so I'm very excited about that to see how it continues on. So we have a couple things going on here that I've noticed. One, we have a bump happening underneath here. So right here, it's easy to feel with my finger, but there's a very pronounced bump. And I think what it's doing is it is trying to produce another aerial root, just like this one. This is the one that started to come out about a month ago, and that aerial root just went bam, straight down into the soil. And I think it's gonna put out another one off of that new leaf. So that should really help this plant grow and establish itself even more. It's really hard to get it to focus on it, but it does have a new growing eye right there, or an axillary bud. You can kind of see it at the top. I'll take pictures of it and insert it because that might be a little bit easier to see. But that growing eye also has a stripe of variegation that's going straight across it. And that's honestly our best bet for having a more variegated plant down the road. So I'm excited to see if that activates and grows an additional stem. Then we have a very good chance of having a very pretty plant down the road. I was very pleased with this leaf. It definitely could have come out with no variegation at all, considering it's coming from a extremely low variegated stem. So I'm very happy with how this leaf turned out. I'm happy with the stem and the variegation that I'm seeing so far, and I'm very excited to keep an eye on this axillary bud and see if that winds up being an additional stem with more variegation, because it definitely looks like a good possibility. This plant has been so happy since I transplanted it in soil. You can see it's just got roots all over the place, lots of roots underneath that are starting to come out. Monsteras do like to be a little bit root bound, so I'm just gonna let it hang out in this pot. I'm not gonna mess with it at all this winter. I might repot it in the springtime, and if I did, it's just going to be to put it in maybe a slightly bigger pot, but really my goal is to put it onto a moss pole or some kind of a trellis to see if we can encourage some more growth during the summer. So this new leaf came out in about, I would say, a month. The stem went from just about to here, all the way up there with that beautiful new leaf. It's hardening off now and it just looks fantastic. I'm super excited about that. So what I have been doing for care with this plant is I've been flipping that grow light on about 7 o'clock in the morning, and then I turn it off about 10:30 at night, and I leave that grow light on all day long. It is sitting in my kitchen window, and when we do have sunlight, it gets direct morning sunlight, which it really seems to love, and it seems to keep this plant growing really well. I have been watering it very sparingly. In my kitchen, there's a lot of really great humidity because I'm cooking in there all the time. It's sitting right above my dishwasher, which actually warms the counter up and it keeps it a really great temperature, and it also keeps that humidity really high in there. I do worry about root rot with this plant since it is very prone to that. All monsteras are. So I only water this plant when it is very dry, and I can tell from the sides when it gets dry. This will need a good watering today. But the nice thing about these clear pots is when I bring it out, a lot of times I can see condensation and water still sitting there even when the top feels dry. So I know that it's still got a good amount of moisture sitting in that soil. So I do let it get on the drier side, but I think I can get away with that because it is sitting in my kitchen, which has a lot of good humidity in there. It's not in a super dry environment. So I will definitely keep you guys updated on how this Monstera grows. I'm really excited to see what it does next. I think the next thing is going to be an aerial root coming out just about where that joint is. And possibly we'll see if that axillary bud activates there and grows a new stem. Other than that, we might be on leaf watch to see if this one either grows another leaf or continues a stem with more variegation. So fingers crossed we are on the right track. I'm very encouraged by this new leaf. I think things are going great for this plant right now. So I'm super excited to see what it does through the rest of the winter and into spring and summer. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you want to see anything else during this series about my low variegation Monstera, or if you want another update on my baby seedling Monstera, which is going to put out another new leaf and is looking so fantastic. I will also be putting that one on a moss pole in the springtime. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time at The Contented Plant. Bye-bye.